G'day ladies and gentlemen, Sam Battlefields here on my journey into the ecological dynamics, particularly the constraints-led approach for BJJ. Had a good session today, felt really good. Back in the zone, getting into the zone with things, and learning heaps, which I'm really happy about. So I'm just going to do, I think I'll just show these, actually these aren't, I'll just show this game, but.
So we're calling this game Quidditch because essentially it's the striking game, so 2 points for the shoulder, 1 point for the torso, and but if you get chest to back, it's 10 points and it's first to 10.
So essentially it's the striking game that we've been playing, touch the shoulder. I'm going to shift now because it's got to a point where we're just sort of tapping, where I want to have a proper hand on the shoulder and a proper hand on the torso, just to make it a bit more commitment, so there's no just cobra strikes versus you actually are looking to get in and out. So there is a bit more, what's the word, like, not dedication, but, what's the word? Anyway, so commitment. So you're more committed to the actual strike rather than just trying to duck in and duck out. Not that that's necessarily a bad thing. If you're, if you're the kind of striker that's just like, I'm going to kick, like, smacking us, then your footwork's going to improve with this. But because I wanted to add in, the idea of the grappling and entering in, I want that to actually be relevant as such, be relevant to grappling in a martial arts situation, right? So and the reason why I say chest on the back is because as a grappler, if you get your chest on someone's back, especially a striker, you should be able to take them down. Bottom line, if you can't, something's wrong. So so that would be the main thing there. So we added in, it's like, I was going to do 1 minute scored, but I actually like the idea of it being like Quidditch, where if you get your chest on the back, that's 10 points, that's over, But I also didn't want, like, what happened the other day with, like, the minute scoring, where the other person cools down, they haven't energetically got their heat up in their body, etc. So so the striking aspect, I'm going to make it so that you actually have to get a proper palm, and if someone blocks, even if you get it round the block and sort of onto the arm, it's not going to count. Alright, obviously it's still worth doing, but I want that, if someone blocks like that, then you're not going to hit the head as hard. So there's got to be stakes to it. There's got to be some kind of stake. So, like, if I block you, then just touching my shoulder doesn't really look like an actual fight. Not that that's the case, but adding in the chest on back, what I found was, I was like, yeah, okay, I copped 1, 2, so I might have copped a hit here and there. I was like, fuck this, I'm gonna try and rush him. I need to get in close. And the other sort of thing that was, as soon as you're properly connected, you can't just like start tapping the shoulder and get 10 taps and that's it. As soon as you're connected, striking as such is not available. Yeah. So anyway, the second one we did is this one. So
this game, fairly simple. Person on top is trying to get their arm underneath the chin. Person on the bottom is just trying to get back to half guard. This game, fairly simple.
Yeah, so that's fairly straightforward. Just get back to just just get back to half guard from the bottom, get back to sort of a defensive position, and the person on top is just trying to keep him down. Aaron made mention that he was a little concerned that we weren't warm enough for the back pressure, but as it became evident, as the behaviour sort of started arising, is as you start going to get that arm under the chin, no matter how you do it, you can't get that real hip down thrust into their back so that their back gets hurt from it. So like the task is get your arm under their chin, and most of the time that gives the opportunity for them to get out. So this is going to be the last one we did. Initially I was going to do this in two parts. I was going to do this game that I'm about to show, and then the second part, which was going to just have an additional part to this game, was that we'd add a hook in. So I'll play this.
This is a repeat of the game that we played on Tuesday. Oh. Close guard's fucking hard. But essentially we're looking to isolate the top part of the arm, so at the shoulder and bicep, and control it basically by any means, like against the chest, over the shoulder, or in kind of a omoplata configuration.
I also wanted, it was, the top half, so this part of your arm against the chest, over the shoulder, for like a cutting armbar style thing, over the shoulder, in an omoplata or a figure four. So that wasn't sort of explicit, but I should have said that. And it's quite funny because the second part of the drill slash game that I wanted to play was essentially getting a foot, whether it be the top of the foot or the bottom of the foot, on the hip, but this was just an emergent behaviour regardless.
Basically, by any means, like against the chest, the top part,
so as you can see right here,
the arm.
Shut up, Sam. As you can see right there, he's already kind of doing it, and the idea was I wanted to show some openings to sweeps and many more things that are available to you if you have your foot on their hip while you have connection to that top part of the arm. But I didn't get round to playing that game, and part of me is not too upset with that. I might do that tomorrow. Part of the reason why I would do it tomorrow is because it'll probably be us three again, and so we'll just add it in, and it won't be too difficult if there is the other guys there. We had a couple of good insight chats afterwards. One of them was something that Aaron said, which is you want to bait them to do what they want to do, but on your terms. I thought that was really, really well worded. And the second thing that came out of it was the discussion of posture and kind of how we understand posture and how we understand breaking posture. So broken posture is obviously they're completely down on your chest, you're holding them down, but what is posture if they've got to regain posture? Personally, I didn't have too much of an issue. I just felt like posture is like when you're sitting in your base and you are strong, and then as soon as you are not strong in your base, you do not have posture. Whereas Aaron sort of viewed the language a little bit differently, and this is going to get to my sort of final point here is that Ridwan started asking questions, and I think like it really highlighted to me that that language is actually, or can be, a bit of a barrier when it comes to teaching. It was actually quite interesting to see, because he was asking something, and my interpretation of what he was asking was different to Aaron's interpretation. And I'm not saying either of us were wrong. I don't like what I realised. I backed out of the sort of the telling, because I was like, no, well, that's something that you must feel, and we can play around with that. And once I figure out what you're actually referring to, then we can have the discussion. So it was a bit of a revelation for me to be able to identify that language, the spoken language and instruction can actually be a hindrance more than it can be a help if you're not careful with it. So yeah, Sam Battlefields, thanks for joining me on my journey. Like, comment, subscribe to the channel.